Why does Perrin like letting little girls die?
It's just
Perrin doesn't.
Welcome
this is
back,
the
everyone, to
I like
Castle
punishing
Run.
Perrin.
Atticus is just one bad day away.
Yeah, that's true. Bert's trying to keep you. Bert's trying to keep you on the straight and narrow, though.
Atticus is working out through the pain.
Um, Thanks for joining us for Castle Run. I'm your DM, Elijah Goodall. Pronouns they them, and we're gonna skip introductions this time because when we left off last time, everyone had rolled initiative after sitting down to a nice family dinner with the family that all of you kind of kept. I mean, really, it was Fauna who healed the youngest daughter, Grace, but all of you have been welcomed into their home. The father, Russ, has prepared a meal from you. Did I say from you? Oh God, not from you. He definitely didn't prepare. Prepared a
Cannibalism.
My
meal
leg.
for you. Yeah, from the garden outside.
Roll
of
for
their house.
indigestion.
Roll for indigest.
Roll for irritable
Give me
bowel
perception
syndrome.
rolls to yeah. That's just a constitution roll for sure. But the dinner was interrupted by a gruff voice calling out Perrin's name on the other side of the door. And in that moment, I think, Perrin, I had you roll a history check to see if you... I can't remember exactly what the roll was, but I know that it was high enough to recognize the voice because I wrote that down. And we're going to I'll give him a second to come back to the
Eli, what happened to Dice Cam?
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm actually having my my friend Tristan is gonna make me this really, really beautiful little wooden dice tray that I can fix a permanent
Cool.
cam and
Oh,
all that
nice.
too. Yeah.
They do great work.
Perrin, you hear the voice from the other side of the door. Shout your name. And you were taken back. You spent about 30 years, give or take, in the various past lives that you've had. You spent about 30 years in the Citrus Isles. And among all the things that you did there, the two things that were probably the most successful were buying into and restoring a couple defunct taverns that you deemed Applebee's. They got pretty popular. I mean, the cider that you made from the apples and worked pretty well. It was a kind of, I think, a new novelty for a lot of the people in the Citrus Isles. Cider not being something terribly common. In addition to that, the other thing that you were the most successful in the Citrus Isles was being a smuggler. And Applebee's provided a wealth of opportunity to move goods and money through them. But we're not going to talk about any of those times. What we are going to talk about is the end of those. Because as you hear the voice, the first memory that you have is the last memory that you had in the Citrus Isles. When you come to, you are standing outside of Applebee's as it collapses in on itself in the fire. You look around, confused, until you look down and you see that the tips of your fingers are burnt and singed. You look over, you see Balak Morgrasp nearby, just gazing at you, watching the tavern collapse alongside you. And from inside the tavern, you hear one last shout in the voice that you now hear outside the farmhouse, as you hear your partner, an iron corsair automaton known as Silica, who is your partner for years in the Citrus Isles, as he calls out your name outside of the farmhouse now. Baron Meliomne, you in there?
All right. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Just hold on a second. Hold on.
I will tell you, we're in initiative order already. As this shout comes out, the door bursts open. That large green hill giant from a few days ago that you saw as part of that party is just sort of framed in the doorway, his shoulder down from checking the door open. First in initiative order is actually Bert, who springs up from the table, is going to look to you, Perrin, to give his
him
aid.
like
So
I'm gonna give him like a hand, like, you know, we can read each other pretty well.
Yeah.
We've been journeying for weeks, so I'm just gonna give him a like hold.
cool. What Bert is going to do essentially is give his turn to, like, he's going to offer you the help action on his turn. So whatever roll you make on your turn, you can choose which one you want to do with advantage. Next in initiative order is Vox, though, before Perrin.
Can we see? Are there windows? Can we see in? Can they see in?
Give me a perception check real quick. There are windows. It's getting dark outside.
Oh, that was really great. That was a dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, out of the window you see two other figures. You see this, I mean, even in the kind of the dim fading light, you see the glint of it off the iron exoskeleton of this automaton, kind of almost this skull-like shape to the face, just black hollows where the eyes would be. Maybe a little rusted, worse for the wear.
Okay.
There's that green hill giant in the door, and then next to the iron automaton, you also see a small gnome who is kind of clean shaven and head as well, but it almost looks like the hair's been like regularly, almost as if this gnome shaves by regularly burning it off, and it has a pair of welder's goggles on his head. Yeah.
I think Vox would just kind of back up kind of closer into the family and guard this family. And then she's just going to look over at Perrin and be like, what the fuck did you do this time? And I'm going to hold my action.
Okay. Perrin, that makes it your turn.
Yeah, Perrin is gonna, I mean, he's signaling to Bert to hold. He catches Vox's eye but doesn't draw attention to her, and he's gonna be like, all right, hold on. I did not recognize your voice. Let's just take a moment and breathe. First of all, you're outnumbered, but everything's cool here. We're cool, you're cool. I'm gonna come out and talk, all right? Okay?
Roll me a persuasion check. You can do it with advantage with Bert's help.
Does a 24 do anything for you?
On a 24, you see Silica's hand. I mean, you can still catch sight of them even around the massive frame of this hill giant in the doorway. It's kind of like stooped over to see underneath it. you see Silica's hand is at the ready, but he's just staring into it. Hasn't made any movements yet. The hill giant kind of looks at you, looks back at Silica, sort of steps out of the way, makes room for you to walk out the door.
All right. I'm going to leave my weapons inside. I'm going to come out and we're going to chat. Is that all right? And Perrin is going to assemble Ornament of Rights, and presumably I get that far, and hand it to Atticus. So it's just in, mace form. It's just
Cool.
one solid piece right now.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. You walk outside. I'm going to say I'm going to keep us in the initiative, because I don't want anyone to have to re-roll initiative, but for right now, it is sort of turning into a conversation.
Yeah.
You step outside and
On the way out, just on the way out, Perrin's going to, when he's handing over this weapon, as much as possible, he's going to just quickly scan around the room. Is there a back door?
Ooh, give me you ate dinner in here. Give me a perception check with advantage.
Yeah, 22.
There is.
He's going to kind of eye between, if he can catch Nyx's eye, very subtle, so you'll probably need to roll for it. He's going to try to catch Nyx's eye and glance towards the door.
Cool. We will call this, I will say it could be a,
Roll sleight of hand against perception.
I think sleight of hand or deception. I'll let you roll either one. The trick here is I'm going to, because you're specifically signaling to Nyx, you're also going to roll to see if you can beat the check in order to spot it with your perception, but you get to do so with advantage. Everyone else is just going to roll flat. And that's kind of how we'll do the breakdown of who notices this versus who doesn't.
Okay, well, I nat 20'd.
Okay.
So I don't know if that makes it.
No way.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you get this signal. Because it's turning into a conversation, even though your initiative wasn't as high next, you get the signal immediately. I'm going to let you can take whatever action you want right now during, take a full action if you want while this parent is stepping outside to have
Can I
this interaction.
flavor text my 20 that as I step through the doorway, I don't close the door, but I nudge it so that it swings part of the way close behind me?
For sure.
Real quick, Fauna's just gonna send the cat out with Perrin to
Okay,
lend
cool.
advantage, and also to
Awesome.
so that the cat can report back as to what's happening if we need to do a run or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And last question, how dark is it outside? It's getting darker, but is it still dim?
I think the sun is it's sort of that little half sphere on the horizon. So it's not quite dim light yet. But it's getting close. Yeah,
Okay, heard.
Yeah.
Anyone else need to do something?
Tell me what Nyx does too.
So
real
otherwise
quick,
I'm gonna
just so we
start
have
Do
roll
it.
I
plan.
get my action?
We're gonna. Yeah, I'm just
Is it
gonna
a full
give you
action?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call on Waxing Knight to
Cool.
stand guard in front of the family, and then meta magic this, and use my invisibility feat
Okay.
and go out the back door to circle around.
Okay. Cool. Invisible. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay. Re-rolling that because that was low. Oh, that's even worse. Okay. Rough.
They do get disadvantage on their perception checks though because you're invisible.
Yeah,
they're-
but that was
obviously they're
still
not gonna see you.
super
Yeah.
shitty. I'm gonna add my favored by the gods to that as well.
Cool.
Okay, 13.
Okay. You slip out the back. Invisible Waxing Knight is in there. to defend the family. Perrin, you step outside. Silica looks you up and down.
All right. Hi, Silica. Silica. Haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing?
Well, I suppose I'm a lot better than the last time you saw me. Had to do a bit of reconstruction.
Were you? I don't know. Remind me. What did you have an accident?
Did I have an accident? I don't know, Perrin. Why don't you tell me? I found myself trapped underneath our tavern. Beams crossed over my, what I assume you wanted to be a corpse. Burning alive. Half the iron on me was melted down to
that.
slag, so you tell me. Was it an accident?
Now listen, that is a complicated situation, and long story short of it, I'm presuming that Perrin remembers now all the connections related to that, as far as mind
For sure.
control vis-a-vis. Long story made very short. I was in a bit of a situation. Somebody was using me to cause some violence, and I was trying to do, like you said, trapped under those beams. I know all about your iron, and I was trying to prevent you from being in the hottest part of that fire. Like, I was trying to keep you safe from somebody who did want me to kill you. Kind of shitty. I understand. Like, it's pretty fair.
I'm going to allow this to be perception and not deception, because I think that is a true thing that Perrin would have tried to slide towards underneath a suggestion spell. Give me one more perception check, and you can do it with advantage because the cat's out there with you.
Persuasion?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did I say persuasion?
25. I mean, he might be persuaded. That doesn't mean he's not mad about it.
He's gonna take a couple steps closer to you. You can smell now the grease. There's just this. I mean, it's iron. He's made entirely of iron. You smell the grease sort of sliding back and forth in his joints underneath the plating as he leans in a little closer.
Well, I've had a long time to think about what I'd like to do to you. I suppose if you're having a supper, my lads could use a bite. If you don't mind inviting us in, then I wouldn't mind taking a little bit longer to decide what I'm gonna do with you.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty small in here, but I'm more than happy to have some food brought out. Absolutely.
He's going to look up at the hill giant, just kind of nod at the door.
Ellis?
And you see the giant just sort of hand over opens the door, and Silica's just going to go to walk past you into the house.
Fauna's gonna step up in front of him as he tries to come through the door and be like, "Oh, hi, I'm Fauna."
What?
It's so nice to meet you. I'm Perrin's foster daughter. How do you know
Foster daughter.
Perrin? It's really, really great to meet you.
We
I didn't
were-
know that he had friends from the area that you were from.
Foster daughter, huh? Never met you.
I mean, it's really just sort of an incidental, she means well.
Is there a pantry I can shove this family into?
Yeah, if you want to, while Perrin is, if you want to, try and convince them to hide, I would go ahead and make a persuasion check. You're doing it
Atticus is gonna
do it with
see this
advantage
happening.
for Russ, basically to kind of like signal that you want to hide the family away.
That was
Atticus is
a
gonna see this and flex his traps and like try and just like stand in front of Vox to like make it look like to hide what she's doing.
Go.
that was a nat 20, and my persuasion is +6. Too.
Oh, so I'm gonna say because you would have been doing this, I think.
Yeah.
And you
Vox
correct
would've
me if
just,
I'm
like-
wrong, while the conversation is happening.
Oh yeah, the second she heard like invite them in, she would
Yep.
have like quietly opened it in and like tried to
You
usher them.
absolutely are able to get the entire family, including the father, into another room. He just looks at you, like looks down at the kids, like getting the, and just looks at you. No insight check. He fully trusts you.
Fox
You
is
shut that,
going
so
into
it's
the
just the
with
just
them.
the party in the main room now.
In there with them, by the way. She
Oh,
has
you're going in there with him.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, she
cool.
is guarding this family.
Awesome, perfect.
I would
Atticus
like
is
to
gonna lean against the pantry door.
nice.
To, like,
Just a
seal it.
wall now. Perrin is gonna. Do I even need to whistle anymore, or is our connection strong enough that Amos just knows when I want something to happen?
Ooh, I think that I don't know if we established. I think with the Amos having the sending spell though, I think it's fair to say that you can just naturally message between you and Amos also.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Amos go join Nyx with just a like get eyes on if there's more people around us,
Right.
and at the same time, Perrin is gonna try to kind of scope out this third person who is with Silica.
Yeah. Roll me. We're gonna call this just a raw intelligence check.
4.
You do not recognize
Too
this
many
character
other
at all.
things
It's
on
just-
the mind.
Yeah, this just looks like a gnome. You could give me an insight check or a perception check to kind of.
No, I want to let that ride.
Okay, cool. Yep, just a gnome. Welder's goggles on his head, clean shaven because it looks like it's been singed off. He just kind of follows in Silica's footsteps. Silica, it sort of gives you that look, tried to grunt and just sort of, unless you're going to actively try and prevent him, is just going to kind of brush past you to go into the house.
I think Fauna is going to try to like keep his attention a little bit.
Okay.
And also as she's like continuing to try to chat him up, she's going to cast Charm Person to see if she can like
Ooh,
win him
okay.
over to her
I
side.
like that. All right. That is.
But wait,
How
is
could you
Silica
resist-
a person?
How could you resist this?
Yeah, that is a wisdom save for charm person, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
16, DC 16.
Okay.
It says a humanoid, Tyler, so like he's
counts.
humanoid
Nice.
For
shape.
sure it counts. That's only a 14. You see Silica regards you, Fauna, kind of back, it's sort of almost this skull looking mask. Way back there in the dim, you do see just this dim kind of orangish reddish light. See as he takes you in, that light softens a little bit. Just kind of almost goes to like a warm white, like he's focusing in a little bit on you more. And he sits down at the head of the table, kind of scoots back in the chair, throws his feet up on the table, cracks them down. As he does this, the gnome is going to kind of scurry in and sit down at a seat next to him, just start pulling things off the table. And you see that enormous hill giant too ducks down, shoulders his way in, and goes to like sits down on a chair. I'm going to just make a little check real quick. The chair buckles a little bit underneath him as he rests his full weight, kind of extending far out on either side of the chair, but the chair holds. And he just kind of proceeds to sort of like pick up what for all of you would be handfuls of food just sort of between two fingers and kind of just almost like little bits as he tucks them into his mouth.
Did Fauna hear does she know about the Applebee's thing? Like, did she overhear that, or does she know about
Ooh,
the history there?
I don't think you would. I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, your memories
It's okay. I
did
was just
return.
gonna try and talk to him about something, but she'll
Yeah,
just be
Perrin,
like,
would you have ever
"So
talked
tell me-
about that
tell
part
me
of
how
your
you know
life
Perrin."
when they were? I mean, they would have been toddlers too.
We probably maybe.
Yeah, I
wouldn't know.
don't think he wouldn't have gone in detail about it. I don't think that's like the most positive memory that he would want to relay that way, you know, like
Yeah.
that's not really the good old times. That's like making ends meet.
Yep.
Yeah, she's just gonna be like, "Oh, tell me about yourself. Like, how do you know Perrin? Where are you from? You know what I mean? Like, just keep like trying to like keep up conversation, generally asking him about himself."
Great. I think you. I mean, he's charmed. You strike up a repertoire, and it kind of as this conversation is going, what's everyone else doing at the table?
Atticus is still leaning against the patio or the like cabinet, and he's gonna be like, "Man, y'all must be really tired from your travels out here. Why don't we get some tunes going? Hey, Bert, why don't you sing a song for our companions here?"
I'd love to sing a song, Atticus.
And yeah,
Atticus
Bert's,
is gonna like be like, "Have y'all heard of the singing frogs from Saint Florian? Oh my gosh, you're in for a treat tonight, friends."
hold on, I'm gonna make a little roll. That's not very high. The hill giant does sort of look up. Actively been tucking food into his mouth and has probably eaten a third of what's on the table, but you don't even like he has yet to swallow. It's just he's continuing to tuck the food in there. The hill giant is just going to kind of look down at Bert and like clap a little bit.
I mean, you're in for a treat, Bert. Why don't you?
Shucks, I'd love to.
I insist.
All right. Anyone, Perrin, you got something to play? Maybe we'll do. Give me something in the key.
Perrin is sitting down on a wooden chair and is beginning to pack a pipe, like that scene from *Inglourious Bastards* where they're hiding people under the floorboards.
Perfect. Do you see
Perrin's favorite
Silica's
movie and
picked up a glass of milk and is not drinking it, but is just sort of swirling it around. Bert Bert got a 15 on his performance check, so Bert is just like belting out.
What does that sound like for the sake of the players, though?
Oh, well, I had me a girl and she was right about it.
And he just kind of goes on, but it's not bad. He just kind of starts making up verses. I think at one point he sort of hops up onto his chair and starts kind of like kicking around a little bit. Just to paint the picture too, I think his helmet is off at this point. He's laid the sword down on the table too, so he's just sort of little toad faces out.
the cat has come back inside and is just yowling to also sing along, but it's just like cat yowls, not musical.
Perfect.
Yes, you can find these cats on the street of San Florian as well. They're known for being able to keep a tune.
Oh, kitty!
The hill giant's just going to point and reach a giant hand over. Oh, the cat looks at you, Fauna. Fuck. What? It's
Okay,
he's
it's
very
okay.
large.
Just let him pet you. It's okay.
Okay.
I see you found some very bright and clever compatriots to work with in the years it's been. How long has it been anyway? It's 50? 8? 9? 3.
Silica's going to look at you.
It's been 40 years, give or take.
Right. I mean, like things have changed since then. I've gotten out of the life. I'm trying to do better. I died a lot of times. That was a bummer. But I'm trying to trying to make amends. And like like I'm gonna be honest. A lot of it's blurry. I don't really remember exactly what happened. But I know that I've wronged a lot of people. So like in general, I'm trying to fix it. I'll be honest. When you first came up, I different kind of situation. I thought you were maybe somebody else who was upset. I didn't realize it was you. Didn't realize it was that kind of serious situation. Like, I'm not trying to avoid you. Nothing like that.
Listen, Baron, I can forgive burning the taverns to the ground. They were just a front anyway. I can even believe you that you didn't mean for me to get caught in the fire. What I'm gonna have a harder time letting go of without some sort of reckoning. I reckon we had about 3 years of, how shall we say, spoils stored up in Applebee's. All gone. Now, if you expect me to walk out of here and leave your head on your shoulders, I'm gonna need to see my half.
Right. And what would you reckon the value of that was? Like 6 sharp knives?
You actually get him with it. You just kind of hear a chorus. It's almost like gears grinding in his throat as he laughs.
Oh, my friend, I'm afraid it's more than 6 sharp knives. I'll tell you
Sound
what,
of those dice.
with interest on top of it, I'd put it at about 2,500 gold pieces.
Right. And that is a chunk, certainly.
Now, I'm assuming you don't have that much gold stashed around somewhere here, so maybe you just show me what you do have, and we'll see if we can come to some kind of an agreement.
Now, what I do have, more than any other thing, opportunity.
You don't say.
I know how much you love opportunity.
Well,
Would you like to earn 3, nay, 4 times that sum in a mere 6-month period of time?
I'm going to say for this one, I don't think you've got 10 seconds to convince me that Perrin knows how to do this. Otherwise, this is going to be a deception roll.
I need to convince you, or does Perrin need to
Or
convince
I think
Silica?
it's a deception roll unless you can convince me that Perrin
Silica,
somehow has it.
this is a double guppy scenario. I don't know if you've heard about what's going on in Asparia right now, but regime change is what's happening in Asparia, and guess what's happening right at this very moment? But the full overthrow of the criminal enterprise that has run in Asparia for generations. Generational criminal wealth. The fawn is going down right now. We have set it up. We've taken care of it. We are personal friends with the new leadership of Asparia, as well as the direct, what would you call it, overthrowing might that is coming up against the criminal enterprise. Now, you know how it is. Every city needs criminals. That's just what happens. You always need smugglers. Everyone just needs their cut off the top. I can give you that top. They're going to need good, clean operations. No more of these crazy... I don't know if you've heard. They had vampires on staff. It was a mess. They were eating people.
This is just a persuasion check now. You can do it with advantage. I mean, it's a good ploy.
Fauna's like, you look like a smart businessman. I think this could be a really good opportunity.
Oh, appreciate that.
Fun is
love.
like giving him a shoulder rub
It's-
on his iron
you're
gear
just,
shoulder.
your hands are kind of covered in grease. You hear the plates just kind of clink around.
Like we had a whole thing go down. We're just clearing out to let some heat fade off of our faces. Like I said, double guppy scenario. You're the second guppy. 23, by the way. So now is the time. We have sand autonomons. I'm so sorry. I forget what you call yourself. Automata.
That's an automaton, but you
Parent,
said
they're
made out of
automatons.
sand.
Oh yeah, right. Silica based, you might say. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah. Always good with the words you are, Baron. I'll tell you what. I'm willing to hear out this little persuasion of yours. I do feel a little outnumbered. Maybe this would be a more friendly conversation if you and I could have the floor alone.
And he's gonna look up at Ellis, the hill giant. Ellis is gonna look to him and just kind of nod and then continue to sit there as the gnome sort of gets up and goes to leave the room.
Alone.
Ellis and is going to like get up and just sort of in one wide step, just step directly across the table and go to walk out the door. And Silica is going to look at the rest. The only other party members, there's the cat, Atticus, you're by the pantry. So, and then Fauna and Bert. Nyx is currently outside invisible and Vox is hidden in the pantry.
Right. Atticus, do you mind? And Perrin is kind of like taking in his shape, and he's like, "Well, you know what? Like cabins have closets. That's fine. Yeah, do you wanna wait outside there, buddy?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
leave that thing anywhere." And he's gonna wave at Ornament of Rights that presumably you're still holding.
Yeah, Atticus like puts it down just like nonchalantly. I'm like, "You're gonna make me leave my weapon out here? Okay." And he's gonna like kind of wink at Perrin and walk outside.
All right. Always with the flirting, that one.
I can't help myself.
Does Fauna have to leave? Because we're like besties now, so it doesn't.
Silica's actually going to kind of reach back and pat your hand.
Let's go outside now, love.
Fauna's gonna like look to Perrin to make sure that that's okay.
That's all right. Just take care of all the kids. Keep an eye on everybody.
She's gonna like start to walk out and like as she like hits stride with the hill giant, she's gonna be like, "So, what's your name? How's it going?"
Parents gonna give a little whistle to,
Oh, great! My name's Fauna. And they're just like walk out the door.
Does Atticus understand this at all? Like, can he pick some of it up?
Go ahead. I'm going to let you. We're going to call this just a raw intelligence, but you can do it with advantage because he's definitely speaking in that like Solasa hill giant kind of. Is the twang is a lot heavier than you're used to.
Yeah. He's from the back country. That was a 15.
Yeah, on a 15 for sure. He said, "It's absolutely lovely to meet you. My name is Ellis."
He said his name is Ellis, and it's very nice to meet you. And then Atticus, in his best way, is gonna like try and say like where like what area of Solasa are you from by chance? If I can pick that up, that's where the hill. And then he goes, Herga Durga Burga Herga.
Here, round back here, around this side, around a couple
I want this to be the next 25 minutes. Ask more questions.
Bunga bunga indeed. Bunga bunga indeed.
I think, Atticus, you're able to gather that Ellis comes from the far eastern side of Solasa. So you're more familiar, I think, with the western and southern parts of Solasa that are closer to the Phoenix Manor. That is also where your closest allies in Solasa, the Legrand family, are. Was your deceased friend Cletus Legrand was one of the children of the Legrand family, and it's also the hill giant family that goes all the way back in history that helped you rebuild Phoenix Manor after it burned down. But this Ellis hails from about as far away from that area of Solasa as you can get. So you know, probably the closest, like this, it would also be the closest point in Solasa where Ellis is from, the closest point to Imago, the city that you're headed to.
So none of the characters are gonna know this, but I rolled for it. Perrin assumed that Vox has taken the family out the back door with Nyx, so he's assuming everybody else is out.
So here's what I will say. Vox specifically stepped into a pantry. There's no back door in the pantry, so you are like you're just in a closed off
No,
pantry.
that's
with
what I'm
the
saying.
family. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Perrin is
Cool.
Perrin is assuming no
Yeah,
one
'cause
else
you
is
didn't see-
inside of the
totally.
building at this point.
Yep.
I
will
the cat
also
is
say-
still there.
Just the cat.
Waxing Knight is also there. I'm the only one who can see her,
Yes,
but she'll only attack if somebody is
Yes.
hostile.
right.
So
Also, Nyx, you've been outside the longest. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
cool. Where's my stuff? 11.
Okay. Cool.
Do I do that with advantage with Amos on my shoulder,
Oh, Amos is out there. Yeah, you can.
or is
take
that
it.
is that just a parent thing?
No, I think for sure Amos went out there specifically to help you. You can do this. You can do this.
Yeah, I can
perception with
assign
advantage.
Amos to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Dirty 20.
Okay, cool. You don't notice it. I mean, I don't know where you've posted up. I'm letting the stealth check that you had ride, but no one seems to notice you as they all come outside. So you can tell Nyx though that Vox and the family have not come outside. I think you're maybe in a position where you can see the back. I don't know if you want to be in a position where you can kind of see the back and the front, but you could definitely be around the side of the house.
I was hoping in that the conversation time that like as much distance wise as you think that I could have covered in that to like circle around and kind of get a scope of if like how many people are out there.
Cool.
If I can see anything else.
You don't see anyone else. So you just see that
Okay.
everyone coming out of the house that has come out of the house. Okay.
So it is just the three of them.
Yes. Yep, just
Okay.
the three of them, and then your allies minus Vox
Perfect.
and the
Thank
family. That puts everyone but Vox and the family and Perrin outside, and then the cat who's just sort of by the door grooming himself.
Saying that everyone left the room, Vox has definitely given the two sons and a dad one of her 15 daggers.
Okay, cool. Russ takes one, is going to kind of look a little apprehensive, but again
He's just-
trusts you and the two boys take the knives and just kind of, I mean, they're like they're like 14-year-old, but they just kind of like the twins look over to their father.
Yeah,
and he just
I'm
kind of like
telling them-
nods.
To stay like as quietly as I can while the talking was happening, to like stay in here if anything happens,
Yeah.
but protect yourselves if you have to.
Perrin, walking, Silica is going to, everyone leaves the room. He's going to scoots back, gets up from his chair, walks over. Again, you get that smell of grease and old iron. He's going to lean in a little closer.
Now, if everything you told me is true, there's a lot of potential, looks like, for me in Asparia. And I do appreciate it, Baron. So I tell you what, I'm gonna let your friends live. And I'm not,
And is going to put a hand on your shoulder.
I'm not going to take your head off. I'm just gonna leave you the same way you left me.
And you see his eyes flash from white to red. In this moment outside with using Pass Without Trace and 26 total on their stealth check, you see the other two members of that 5-member party. Nix, you see 2 arrows light up from the far side of the house and fire up in an arc towards the house as they strike. I'm going to put everyone back into initiative order, in the initiative order that they were in. That was the readied action of the 2 hiding mercenaries. As the house begins to, like, actively, those arrows strike and start to catch fire on the roof. Fauna, that is your turn.
Can I say a cool one-liner, though?
For sure.
There's one thing you forgot, Silica, which is every bee is ready to die when it stings.
Silica doesn't take a step or move to attack you or anything. You see he's just has clamped his hand down on your shoulder. Seems like he's ready to let the building burn down around both of you.
I had I was first in initiative and readied my action. Does that action still stand?
Give me a perception check to see if you hear. I don't like the fire wouldn't spread quickly enough for you to see it, but you can make a perception check to hear if you hear like
Which you hear
both what
I'm gonna
happened
leave
outside
how
and
you
hear
left-
the arrows.
Yeah.
But then Fox is also pretty familiar with that sound since her family home burned down.
Yep.
That just a flat perception, or do I get any advantage?
Russell give you advantage on your perception check.
Well, that's a 16.
I think on a 16 you hear what Silica says, and you hear 2 in the roof as those arrows strike.
Okay. Yeah. Vox is gonna pop out of that door,
Cool.
and she's going.
Back door, Vox, back door.
And she's just gonna she's gonna attack this guy and try to distract him to leave a path open for this family to get
Okay,
out.
perfect.
Just
Yeah, give
pull out.
me attack rolls. You're definitely
Turn.
your movement. You can for sure get there.
Cool.
Should I also roll initiative for Wax, or is that like a?
Does it just go on your turn, or do you actually? Does it say for Guardian
check.
of Faith?
Do.
Also, has Silica been hostile, or is it only the people outside who are hostile?
I mean,
So
he's
far, the
actively trying to
only-
burn you down.
So far, the
said he
only
was
hostile
gonna let
actions
everyone
are from the
live, though.
mercenaries outside. But I think I would like. I mean,
Any
flavor-
creature hostile to you that moves to a space within 10 feet of the guardian for the first time on a turn must succeed on a dex saving throw or take 20 radiant damage, or half
Okay.
as much on a successful
Cool.
pass.
On their, and it says on their turn.
Yes.
Okay, so Silica technically hasn't taken his turn in initiative order, but I'm going to say that it's
Perfect.
hostile, and I think it will trigger when Silica takes his turn.
Wait, am I
Okay.
grappled currently?
Currently, yes. I haven't made the checks for you yet because it's not Silica's turn and it's not your turn yet, but as soon as it's Silica's turn, those will happen. But that makes it, Vox, what were those attack rolls?
That was a 21 to hit him with burn.
That is a hit.
Perfect. And let's attack him. That's a 12.
Okay, cool.
And Vox is just going to shout at the family to get out. Just get out.
Cool. On their for sure on their turn, Russ is going to do his damnedest to get the whole family out. Let's see, that was your ready turn. So now it is Fauna's turn in the order. Fauna, you are outside. You see the arrows hit the house and the roof starts to blaze. What are you doing?
So the other two, the hill giant and the gnome, are just like outside with us.
The hill giant is specifically kind of was having that conversation with Atticus, and you right there. But the hill giant is specifically standing right in front of the door, kind of blocking it. The gnome is just out there.
And then the other ones that shot the arrows are like back in the woods or something.
Yep, back in the woods.
I think Fauna wouldn't know like what the conversation that had transpired right before that happened, because she was already outside.
Yeah.
So I feel like her first impulse would be like to just try to go to help get Perrin out of the house or help the people in the house, as opposed to like attacking.
Okay. Yeah, if
random
you
people
so
without knowing what was going on.
What
Leave
it would-
Atticus by himself.
what it would
fine.
come down to, because Ellis is right in the doorway, is if you're trying to get into the house to help, it's going to be a contested athletics check against like to push your way through.
Can I
do think you might have a spell though that can I want to check something with
Well, I was just gonna see if I could like use charm person again, but I don't think I have.
You for sure can use it if you want to use the
Anything
spell
else?
slot. I will also, I'll tell you, just because it's been I don't know if you've ever used it, and it was like one of your it doesn't work because you have to see the space. For a second I thought that you'd be able to use Misty Step, but with Misty Step
no,
you have to
you have to
see
be able
this,
to see where you're
you have to see the
going.
spot you're going to. You can for sure, if you want to, try and use Charm Person to get Ellis to step out of the way. I mean, that's a wisdom save for probably not very good at wisdom saves.
Yeah, it does say they have advantage if you or your companions are fighting it, but we're not
You're-
fighting.
No,
I'm not attacking him. I'm just like, hey, could you
Yep,
move?
for
My
sure.
cat's still in there.
Cool. I'm going to roll a wisdom save for Ellis.
I feel like that's a straight up intimidation to be like, I don't care about this. I just want my cat.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
that's-
fuck.
That is,
Yeah, you're gonna burn my pet alive? Come
Ellis
on,
gets
man.
a +0 to this roll, but I rolled a 17 on the die. So Ellis is just going to look down at you.
Sorry.
As like, can I do like a bonus action
Yeah.
of like, since that didn't work, can I just like try and like,
Trying to making
between
an
his
athletics
legs or
check to
something?
move through the space would be like, that would be the action to
full
move
action?
him out of the,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else I can do then. Let me see. I think, actually, no, I think that's going to be it. I'll just like be ready if I can like do a reaction or something.
Okay, cool. Fauna, that's your turn. That goes to...
You can move too if you want to rearrange where you're standing.
Yeah, right.
Well, I
right
think-
now you're...
If I stay there, like he didn't agree to move, but like if I stay there and I'm still trying to like kind of, is that sort of distracting him then? Like if I'm like, you know what
Kinda,
I mean?
you're definitely taking up most of his field of vision. Like his focus would be much more on you than Atticus right now.
Okay, that's what
Um,
I'll just be like, try to make my case.
Cool. That is Silica's turn. On beginning of his turn, I'm going to make that dex save for That is a definite failure on the dex save. What is the what's the damage? What's the damage for Guardian of Faith?
On
Yeah.
us,
On Waxing Knight.
Shit, sorry.
No, you're okay.
20.
20. Oh my god. Yeah, Nix, you can't see the waxing, so no one else can see this, but from some unseen force, you see Silica just takes this hit, and you see iron plates in his shoulder shift, exposes the neck more. There's like a spatter of grease that just goes out on the floor as he takes a hit like that. Is going to make that grapple check though to keep Perrin here. So it is just a contested athletic, or you can roll acrobatics too, Perrin, if you want to instead of athletics. You are only trying to beat a 4.
Okay, well, I rolled a 10.
Silica uses his
I'm bummed out about that because I had a better idea, but I don't mind just breaking a grapple, but I had something better.
Here's what I'm going to
so
say.
I'm a little
He
sad.
gets 2 attacks. He's going to use the second one to like make another grapple check to try and keep you pinned down. That is not much better. That's just a 6.
Do I contest again?
Yeah, contest again. The Waxing Knight really took it out of him.
Yeah, damn, I rolled a 7. Plus I get whatever. Acrobatics 12?
Okay. You are not grappled. Silica just sort of hand slides off your shoulder as he takes that hit. That's Silica's turn. I think he's going to bonus action disengage and move back from you like 10 feet. Perrin kind of looking wildly in all directions to see where he was hit. Vox is there too, but he's looking to see where the other hit came from. And yeah, it's Atticus. It's your turn.
Atticus sees like the arrows hit and sees goes up flames, and he looks at the Colossus, the giant, and he says in his best giant, he says, "Are you sure you want to die today, or do you want to maybe meet at a pint later and laugh about this?"
Ooh, give me. I mean, it's kind of already an active fight. Give me a persuasion check, but with disadvantage.
Okay.
You know what? Bert's out there too. Bert's gonna cancel this, so you can just roll it flat.
Okay. 14.
Yeah. Ellis kind of looks down at you.
Darn, what a good bad to do.
Which you hear as, "Sorry, friend. It's what I get paid to do."
Yeah. Atticus is gonna swing on him.
Okay. Yeah. Make me them attack rolls.
The attack
Well,
rolls.
Rolling that attack. That should have been a sneak attack, so I would like to roll my extra 4d6 when
Yes.
I can.
For sure.
Cool.
That first attack is going to be a 19, dirty 19 though, not a crit.
Hits.
Yeah. Where's my dice? I rolled a 1, but with great weapons feat, I get to roll that
Reroll?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That is 13 damage on that first hit.
Okay.
And he's going to use his second attack again. And while he's swinging, he's like, "I think I would have really liked to grab a drink with you." That's a 20, but dirty 20.
Ooh. All right.
The traditional war cry of the Phoenix
Yeah.
Clan.
Yeah.
I would have
We
liked to
could've-
get a drink.
We could have had a drink over this. I rolled another one, but second one is 10.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even for this hill, he takes a step back from these as you carve into him. What was that sneak attack damage box?
It was an extra 15 damage.
Okay. Silica does not look great.
Can I use a bonus action to shove him out of the way, or attempt to shove, so Fauna, Fauna can get in?
It would have to be you'd have to use an attack to do it, which you already used both your attacks. If you want to action surge to like try and make a shove
I'm gonna
attack
action
to get him out of-
surge. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Can I
it's
lend
just
advantage to
contested
that 'cause
athletics.
Oh.
Just
if
'cause
I'm helping
you'd,
push?
you'd have to use your whole turn to like give him the help action. Bert already used the help action to give you that persuasion advantage too, so it's just flat. I'll tell you the number that you have to beat. You rolled a 13. You are trying to beat 13 plus. You're trying to beat a 22 on athletics to shove him out of the way.
So am I rolling for just an attack roll, or I'm rolling?
Make an athletics check. Yeah.
Okay. And what do I need to beat?
You're trying to get 22 or higher.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 16.
Just you carved into Ellis, but he is a full foot taller than you, just kind of and he just bears down.
Can I roll my other attack to fucking sock him in the face?
You can, or you can. I will tell you, you can make that athletics check again since you get two attacks because of your action surge. And he would have to re-roll as well.
Okay, I'll be. Atticus is like, wait, okay, you're strong, and then he's gonna make another.
Then use your
another
other
check.
3
Ooh.
attacks.
That was an
Yeah.
18 on the die this time for a total of 27.
Oh god, I can't beat that.
You can
Except I rolled a nat 20.
Hey, easy lovers can't lose.
You buckle down, and from deep inside are you trying to shove him out of the way, or shove him into the house and just go over top of him?
I'm trying to basically shove him out of the way, completely, kind of
Easy.
Push him to his side.
The muscles flex, he tenses back, and you just hey, hill giants, they tend to be a little top heavy. And Ellis does a half cartwheel and just sort of face plants to the side of the door. Is now prone and out of the doorway. You still have your full movement if you want it.
Atticus is gonna step to be basically on top of the hill giant, and he's gonna look at Fauna and be like,
Hey.
and he's gonna look at Fauna and be like, "This is your chance. Go."
Cool. Atticus, that's your turn. Nyx, it is you.
Is the back door still free?
Yeah.
Have I seen the family exit yet?
No, just because it is not Russ's turn in initiative order yet, so they're going to, but you haven't seen them leave yet.
Okay. Yeah, Nyx sees the roof light up, and they can only think of Perrin inside, so they're gonna go back to try and get him out, but they are gonna mark where they mentally mark where they saw the arrows light up.
Okay, great.
And is he still grappled?
Not grappled at all.
Not grappled
Silica
at all?
did
Okay.
way too poorly on the athletics checks.
Cool. I'm going to. I have a mechanical question, and you know what? I'll do this later. It's fine. I'll just do a guiding bolt on him as I enter in the room.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can come back in the back door. I think you're within distance to. If you're using a ranged attack too, like as soon as you open, I think it'll take your 30 feet to get to the door and open it. But you can for sure make that attack roll for guiding bolt.
Perfect. There it is. Ugh. It's an 11.
An 11 does not hit. You fire in and you see it just glance off the plating on Silica.
I'm going to quicken and cast Firebolt, which is another ranged, I believe. Jeez. Yeah, that's a 10.
You cast the firebolt. Hold on, I'm going to make a... Silica's going to use their reaction. You see Silica is going to look up. As the firebolt comes in and actively spin his chest so that he catches the firebolt full in the chest. As you see it hit, Nyx, go ahead and give me a perception roll real quick.
15.
On a 15, you see the flame hit him. It kind of a lot of the heat disperses over the iron plating, but you see a significant amount of that fire goes through the plating into this like core that you can barely see through the plating. You see something beginning to glow red and his eyes begin to glow up more.
Okay, don't want to charge him.
he looks... go ahead and roll the damage real quick for that firebolt.
He's a fire type
AKA
Pokemon,
the
it turns
healing. Jeez. Okay. Where is this? Where's my D10? Oh. Shit. Yeah, that's a 17.
17 damage.
Yeah.
Silica takes that hit, turns to look at you, Perrin. And like the face does, it's just kind of this plated, almost skull-like appearing thing. So there's not a lot of like, but you do see this little wink of light in the eye that you know is almost Silica's way of giving a grin.
Made a few adjustments on myself after you left me in a lurch.
And essentially what this is like the monk like catch and return, and is going to like opens himself up a little bit more, and what just looks to be molten iron ore just sort of in a line comes spewing back out. And Nyx does a I'm guessing that it was a 16 on the die for it. It's 23. Does a 23 hit? Okay.
It'd be wild if I said no.
yeah, it would be wild. Just 6 fire damage as this kind of line of molten ore.
Close enough in line to use my absorb elements reaction to take that hit, or is that going to require too much motion at the same time?
It would he stepped back 10 feet from you, so the line that he's firing at now, you're not within 5 feet of it. I don't know if there's a distance that you have to be to use that as a reaction. But you're not within 5 feet.
I mean, no, it's the range itself. Yeah, so it would just be if he was still grappling me. But if he's not grappling,
no,
me,
he disengaged and took a step back from you and Vox. Okay, that was his reaction though. Nyx, that was your turn. It is the gnome's turn. The gnome is going to like looks. This little guy looks at you towering over Ellis, Atticus. You see him pull something out of his pocket, whisper into it, and is going to cast Firebolt on the house also. He's trying to hit. Has that?
I thought he had an
definitely hits.
inhaler.
Can I counter spell that
Ooh,
with
did we
my
say?
reaction?
I can't remember.
Let
Does
me
it say
che-
you have
let
to
me
be
check my
within
notes.
5 feet?
Let
Or
me
did we
check
just
my
say that you get
notes.
1 per day if you're within... What was the distance that you can do it at?
I just have. I can cast counter spell once per
That's
long
right.
rest.
You absolutely can. For this is just a can't, so there's no roll or anything. You flip the sword up and the firebolt just absolutely just sort of dissolves into a puff of smoke.
I'm gonna stare into that gnome soul. I'm just looking him in the eyes, like.
You give me a raw intelligence check real quick as you stare at this gnome.
Oh gosh. That's a 17.
17. You look at the gnome. You recognize this gnome.
Oh shit.
The quite
Fuck, is this Marty's grandpa?
no, but it does have to do with Maury because quite some time ago, when you were all in the Sundering Hearth, both, I think the entire party rolled high enough on perception checks to your conversation with Burgent when he gave you the key. No one was like sneaking in and listening to the conversation, but you did see that gnome that clocked you all in there and like sort of walked by slower, and that this is the same gnome.
Was this the one that Perrin talked shit to?
I think Perrin might have talked shit to this gnome too. Yeah.
Fuck.
Every
I'm
time.
picturing this firebolt, by the way, going at the house and then just like turning and hitting Atticus in the chest, and he's like, "What's up?"
It
Hey.
just smolders out on him.
You looking
This-
for me?
This gnome does not look. It looks a little panicked at this point. That is that the gnome is going to take his move action to actively just kind of run in the direction of where the arrows came from. That gets to Nyx. You're in the like back door open, looking into the cabin. You see Rusty with the two twins and little Grace bolting out from the pantry, and just as they run by you in the doorway, just kind of look at you, and there's fear for sure in his eyes, but there is also there's trust. I mean, his back is to he's counting on all of you in this moment, and I don't think he's thinking about like who's brought this down on his house. He's just worried about getting his family out, and they are outside the door. They rush past you. That's Russ's turn. Last one in the initiative order with a natural 5 on their initiative roll is gonna be Ellis. Ellis gonna use half his movement to get up from the prone position and is going to swing down just fists.
Wasn't
Ellis doesn't
Atticus
have
standing over him? Would he be
it does, but
grappled
there's
then?
because there's no like active grapple and it was just a shove.
Oh,
Like he can get up from the prone position and then swing. If there'd been if you'd like actively grappled him, then he would have had to make a check to break out of it. But then he wouldn't have been prone. First attack. Ooh, wait, hold on. Let me go to his first attack.
Before you do that, can I have the cat uses the reaction to
try and trip him as soon
honey-
as he gets up?
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. I can't. Ed, do I make I make a dexterity save, right? I
Yeah.
think. Yep. DC
15.
6. fails.
Cats get advantage on tripping if you're
Absolutely
trying to
fails.
walk normally.
Ellis goes to get up. The cat whips through his legs, and he just like falls face down, face plants. Goddamn. And
And
just
what'd he
sort
say?
of like chewing the grass. Boy,
apologized
that
to
that
the
cat
cat.
is a real rascal.
They always are.
Yeah, that's Ellis can't is just can attack from the prone position, I guess. So is just going to like from the prone position, having disadvantage on the attack, just try and swipe at your feet, Atticus. To we're gonna call this a contested athletics.
Oh, God.
Is going to it is a 22 to athletics.
Okay. I have a +5 to athletics. What did you say it was?
22.
I rolled a 21.
Atticus, boom, flat on your back. Ellis, still prone, can't use the movement, is going to, now that he's knocked you down, is going to use his second attack to try and grapple you on the ground, like turning this into a wrestling match. 14 on the die, 23.
That hits.
We'll see.
Oh,
so you just
contested.
make another athletics check.
Oh, God damn. Why is he trying to big dick me? That is a 24.
You beat it. You like flip him right back over, and he's just sort of like on his back now. Both his arms like kind of behind his head, stuck. Looks up at you. Okay, that is back to the top of initiative order. That makes it Bert's turn. Bert, I think Bert doesn't really. Everything is happening out the back door. Bert doesn't know what's going on inside. Sees the fire. Oh, you know what? I forgot to. I'm going to make a luck check for the flaming arrows on the roof to see how much the fire is spread. High number is good for the party.
It's 6 seconds per round.
Low number is bad. Yeah. Say 10, so middle of the road. Doesn't spread a lot, but it is taking. Hasn't done anything to the structure yet, so it's not about to start collapsing or anything. But the fire is spreading on top. Bert rushes in, just kind of like leaps into the door, full toed leap, busts through the door, sees Silica there, and is just going to, Perrin, you all right?
Yeah, put out the fire.
But put out the fire. Got it. Cool. Isn't going to attack Silica. I'm also going to make a luck check real quick for the. That's a 2 on the die for the luck check for the ore. So that this, like the flaming ore that was fired back, has started to blaze up on the floor. Bert is going to actively try and put this out. I'm going to call this, I think I'm going to call it a dexterity check. That is not great that is a 10. Bert does not, I think Bert stops the fire from spreading anymore, but he doesn't put it out. So he just kind of uses his turn. He's just madly sort of hopping around, slapping at the fire. That's Bert's turn. Vox, it's you.
Yeah, I want out of this fucking house, but this guy's just gonna keep making more fire to this house. Do I have a clear path out of this house?
Back door and front door, yes. I think Silica's kind of almost over cornered now.
Yeah, Pan, this guy's really starting to grind my fucking gears. I hope you kick his ass. And she's gonna run outside while putting away Brightburn. And from outside, I want to pull out the longbow that was recently given to me. And
Yes.
who is closest? Who can I see?
You can make a perception check if you want to try and spot that they were very well hidden. It's like it was a very good stealth check if you wanted to spot the archers. You can for sure. You see Ellis kind of right there on the ground, 5 feet away from you on his back, next to Atticus, who's
How are
like
the
also on
archers
the
like
ground.
there?
Athlete, but you see the gnome running too. He's only about 30 feet away from the
Yeah,
house.
I think Vox would definitely want to go for the archers to prevent more flaming arrows. So
Yeah,
I'm
do
gonna
they
do
have
my
torches?
perception.
Cool.
Why did I roll the wrong die? Yes, that's an 18.
That's for sure high enough because I also just realized like firing is going to like they haven't gotten the chance to do another stealth check yet, so it does give away their position, and that's definitely high enough to spot them
Yeah,
with their position. You see them kind of like lighting up more arrows actively about 90 feet away from the house. Like kind of you'd be firing over the gnome's shoulder, but they are for sure within range.
yeah, I'm going for them.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that attack roll.
That is we said, I gotta look at all this. And longbow, 14, 17.
Cool. I'm going to cut back just real quick. Perrin gave you this longbow, Fox.
Yes.
Perrin, you had carried this for a long time. And when you were back in the Olisander Estates, having carried it for the 200 plus years that you had, you finally got a chance to give the longbow back to its original owner. As Vox's mother, Eva, you catch her in the halls after the kind of the first meeting. She's preparing to leave with Ravania to head back to the Red Keep as the new regent of Asparia. And you walk up to her with the bow. She looks at you. It's good to see you.
I can't lie and say it's not good to see you, but I wish it wasn't. Then again, I'm glad you're not dead.
I'm glad you're not dead. I had no idea all those years that... I'm so sorry that my brother did that to you. I had no idea. I would have...
Yeah, I don't
would
know.
have come to find you.
Maybe he was jealous, I guess.
Yeah. It's certainly one of his many qualities. I see you kept it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You always worked so hard on everything you made, and I knew this was important to you. You spent a lot of time on it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not really my scene, but I've carried it. I've used it. Hunted a lot with it.
Eva's going to...
It kept me together during the hard times.
Eva reaches out, takes the longbow from you, looks at it. You know, Perrin, you weren't the only one that used to dream of the future. And I didn't make this bow for me. I made it because I knew one day she'd need it. And I never saw a future where she had you too, to protect her. I think I'm gonna feel pretty good leaving her in your care. Will you, and she hands the bow back to you, will you make sure that
I've got one of my own now. Yeah.
make sure she gets this?
Perrin takes it and he's like, yeah, I've got one of my own now, so I know exactly what you
One-
mean.
The witch.
Right. I mean, I guess maybe the bird too, but
Yeah, well, I guess I'm giving you two to watch out for then. You know, give her the bow.
Two
Maybe
to watch
she'll
out for.
take care of you too.
Perrin takes the bow, but at her saying two, the number two to look out for, he remembers the other part of what he had forgotten, and he is kind of crestfallen, but nods and accepts it.
Well, I'll depart in the morning. I don't know where the next step of your adventure is going to take you, but you'll always have a home with me.
I appreciate that, and I'm sorry I forgot for so long all of it. I'm sorry that I couldn't remember.
Eve's going to step in closer and just give you a hug, and in your ear she just whispered, "You remember now, and that's what matters." And she's going to step away.
Yeah, I think Perrin just thinks of home.
Yeah. Vox, you shoot the bow. I will tell you, similar to Perrin's gloves when he makes ranged attacks, this particular bow is a +1 longbow, making it a magic longbow, +1 to attack and damage rolls. In addition to that, any attack made with this longbow functions as if you had the feat Elven Accuracy for shots with the longbow, meaning that you get to re-roll a die each time. So even if you have advantage, you can pick which die you want to re-roll. Flat, you can still re-roll. So if you want to re-roll and see if you get a higher roll, you're welcome to. But I'll tell you right now, the 17 hits, or the 18.
So that's a reroll to attack anytime with the bow.
Yep.
Cool. So I'm gonna save that because this is also Vox's first time shooting this bow. She's just going for it.
Cool. Yeah,
And
it
that was an 8. So, and we said +8, which would be a +3 to that. So 8, 9, 10, 11.
Cool. The 18, we'll take the better one. I think just for this, in the future, the way that Elven Accuracy works isn't quite advantage. So when you re-roll something, you know what? Actually, I should look this up. I can't remember if you have to take.
You re-roll one of the dices of advantage.
Yes. Or it works too, even if you don't have advantage. You can the following whenever you have advantage. Oh no, you're right. So you have to have it. It is when you have. So you have to have advantage on an attack.
And that's like
roll.
high
You can reroll
ground.
one of the dice once,
Whatever.
right? Yep. Yeah, or flanking or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that 18 that you rolled hits. The arrow flies true.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage for me.
And we said longbow damage is just 1d8, and then I get an additional point to that, so it's 1d8 plus 3 instead of 1d8 plus 2.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so that was an 8 that I rolled, so plus 3 is 11.
You absolutely, you just see like no shout, you just see like one of the like holding an arrow, just one of them just drops. And the other one kind of looks, you see the other figure look down, and you see the arrow cut, like the other fire kind of ducks out of view. Yeah, that you took one down.
Yeah, Box is gonna just turn behind her shoulder and be like, one archer down, and this is a great bow, Perrin. Thank you.
Let's do Vox. If that's all you're doing for your turn, we'll do Perrin's turn, and then we'll take our break real quick.
So Amos came in with Nyx. So no one is gonna get Amos advantage this turn because Amos is gonna do something.
Cool.
Just wanted to say that so we didn't forget. Amos is gonna come in and see this automaton and think back to the several constructs we have fought, and she will let out a very shrill shatter, which causes a loud. You said he went 10 feet back, so this is a 10-foot radius sphere. He must make a Constitution saving throw. A creature made of inorganic material such as yada 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 metal has disadvantage on this saving throw.
Okay. Oh God, that's an 18 and a 16 on the die. So a total of, even with disadvantage, that's a 20. Nope. Wait, hold on. That's Alice's. It is a 17 on the save.
Okay. So you're gonna take half damage, which is, I'll roll real quick. Take 10 damage.
Silica is just this close to being ready for the scrap heap. As Amos does that, just kind of hits this piercing bird whistle that resonates in the farmhouse, and you just see more of that, almost like there's some kind of like internal explosion that goes on, and you just see another like shot of grease just like explodes out of the body of Silica. That's Amos's turn. Perrin, you've still got yours.
Yeah, so he's 10 feet back. I'm not grappled. How far away is Ornament of Rights? I know it's a small space.
I think you did Atticus set it by the door or on the table? Either way, you're going to be within 10 feet of it, whichever direction it would be.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how much he and I had moved around while we were in that space. Okay, so I'm gonna cross that distance. I'm gonna grab it, and I think I'm close enough just for melee attack too. Mm-hmm. I don't even think I need to do anything ranged.
Yeah, for sure.
Perrin is just gonna hit him in the face.
Okay.
I rewrote my whole thing and I don't remember it. All my layouts different. 4. Proficiency is, what level am I? 7. That's a dirty 20.
Oh, it hits.
Okay. So yeah, hit him. He's gonna hit him.
Cool.
I roll damage.
Yeah, roll damage for me.
8. Forgot where all my things are. I'm sorry. 9. There's no instance, so yeah, just 9.
As you close the distance between you and your old former partner, Silica, what does this look like?
I think Perrin is going to aim for that spot that got opened up kind of across his collarbone, so that as he picks up Ornament of Rights, I'm going to think Perrin reaches out and like full extension. He doesn't step all the way to it. He grabs it with one hand and uses that full momentum. So this is like a 9-foot long pivot point and he turns all the way around, and as he turns, he releases the flail head, and it hits right in on that collarbone. And I think it just segments the entire, like, chest cavity.
Step back. And having severed that kind of, like, no last words, just a oil and grease, just one last little spurt comes out of the mouth as Basilica collapses in front of you.
Perrin is gonna grab Basilica and pull that segmented head outside and stand in the doorway and hold it up. And he's gonna say, "You're not getting paid for this job."
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
"19.
Yeah, it's fully the gnome sees that the gnome is just going to, I mean, on their turn, is going to flee this unless anyone actively wants to chase down the gnome. We can exit initiative order because Ellis is for sure just kind of like hands on the ground, like raises.
There's been nothing paid on this job.
How about that drink now? And he's just gonna like.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Put out the goddamn
Drink
fire.
later. Bert, help me with these flames.
Bert, I think you already had helped with the flames under
Yeah.
control. In their flames, I think with your assistance too, Nix, the flames in there are out. The flames on the roof, they haven't compromised the space yet, but in light of those flames, being
Because
outside-
sometimes I feel like you wanting to drink challenges your decision-making skills.
You said fire. Atticus looked at it.
yeah, give me a wisdom save. I was
Yeah.
just going to ask for that.
There's a reason why he likes to drink. What? It's an intelligence. Or
Wisdom save.
Okay.
I love
That's
how
a
Perrin's sober for
that's
like
a
one
19.
day, and he's like
Okay.
high
Longer.
and mighty.
On a 19, I am going to tell you what happens when we come back from our break. So we'll be back in like 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. Atticus, you look up at
Yeah.
the fire. Wisdom save of 19. It's pretty good. So you don't, fire doesn't explode out of control. You're not pulled into a vision. But as you stare at the fire, you feel a touch, a hand, which rests incredibly light. Almost like the bones of this hand are hollow. You hear a voice in your ear.
Finally headed home after all these years.
If anyone's looking at Atticus, they can see him. He's far, far off. And he just says, he's like, you knew, didn't you? This is all you.
Knew about your father. Hid himself well, didn't he? Now I've got two of you to play with.
What do you want?
Oh, just what I've always wanted, my dear boy. To give you life unending. To never see you age or grow old, or fear sword. Embrace me, and you'll never have to be afraid again. How's your arm?
And you feel a searing pain in your forearm.
Atticus is caught off guard and he drops to his knees and starts clenching his arm. and he's just kind of in pain, like grunting. He's like, I don't want any of that anymore. This is more of a curse than a gift.
It's too late to bow out now. You were promised to me a long time ago.
Atticus kind of smirks at that, and then he just goes, then it's a date. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
And hand fades. Pain in the arm subsides. Actually, you see the at this point, Russ has kind of scaled the back of the farmhouse. Is not like actively beating down the flames on the roof. They're dying down. There's no real structural damage. Bert kind of is standing there in front of you. Atticus, you all right? You had one of them far off looks in your eye.
Just thinking of home. Anyways, he kind of shrugs off, like, where are we at? Where's
Well, we're okay. All the fire's out. Everyone's doing fine, right? Everyone's fine?
Everyone all right?
The giant's gonna kind of Ellis sort of sits up and takes in the situation. Ellis isn't running off. It just kind of looks at all of you.
I guess to take that drink now.
He
fire.
guesses
Put
he
out the
take the
fire.
drink now.
Put out fire.
Atticus, he isn't sure about this whole situation, and he certainly doesn't work for you.
Atticus pulls out his coin purse.
Yeah,
Pulls out,
I
like,
was gonna say.
pulls
Yeah.
out like 10 gold and says burger burger burger, and he's saying, you wanna make some money being a good guy?
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Are we gonna make this guy come with us, or stay here and atone for his sins?
I think we want him to come with us so that Eli has to go Varga a lot.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Ellis reaches a hand out for you to help him up from the mud. Pulls himself up and like turns that into a firm grasp.
Sound real nice.
Whatever that was. Atticus isn't entirely sure what he's saying all the time.
Yeah.
Perrin is going to use Mage Hand to pick up a wool blanket and to bring it up to the roof and snuff out one of the fires.
Well, Russ, continue.
Oh,
Is
thank
it
you.
still burning right now?
I think all the active fires are out. There's no real structure. I mean, there's some light repairs to be done, but it's like there's not even a hole in the roof. You were able to kind of avert all this. There'll be a burn mark in the floor now inside, but not a lot. I think as all of you kind of like maybe head back into the cabin to like ascend, make sure that there's no damage inside. Bert kind of walks inside and sees his helmet that he'd taken off to do the dance was kind of in the path of that, like the iron. And you can see his helmet is just sort of half melted down into slag where the line of molten ore carved through it. And Bert's just
Why
kind of
do you
look
keep taking
down.
away his hats?
Bert's going to look down.
Well, shucks. Sure did like that helmet.
Hey,
And
but
as I
pretty
recall, I
of
got-
a face to hide anyways.
I got yelled at for a long time about not taking care of your armor in the correct way. So we're all going to yell at Bert now, right?
Well, I mean, I guess, shucks, I deserve it. I guess I could have done the dance with helmet on. Knight never takes his armor off, right?
Atticus is actively taking his gauntlets off to look at his arm. He's like, "Oh, what? No, that's just like a antiquated thing."
Old wives' tale. All right, I got it.
You see, Grace, who had like seen the helmet and seen Bert's reaction, Grace kind of like goes running into the bedroom in the back and comes running back out, holding what appears to be this it's kind of a like maybe a little bit of like what could go like in these in the fantasy realm like this as a sun hat, but is sort of this hat with a wide brim and a crease down the middle, turned up a little on both sides, and it's just this brown leather. Certainly, what you would all the players just know is just pretty good looking cowboy hat, and sets it down on Bert's head. Here, now you can dance around and all that kind of stuff with the hat still on. And Bert's going to take a step back. Well, I'll be darned if this isn't fits real well. Perrin, how's it look?
God, I almost brought oblivion to this family. Like, I need to get my shit together. They were gonna. What was that?
You're doing your old whole thing. Nick's hat. How's the hat look?
You look incredible, Bert, and Nyx is kind of still busy writing tables and tidying things up and trying to like scrape away as much of the ash as possible. And
Awesome. Yeah, it doesn't. I think before, if this is kind of where you're settling, it is nighttime at this point. If this is where you're fully able to clean up this entire mess before bedtime.
can I go venture out at some point into the night and find the mercenary that Vox dropped and loot them?
Yeah, 100%. Make me, we'll call it a survival check to find there.
Perrin, I don't know if you caught that. Did you recognize that gnome?
No. Was that Mari?
No, too bald. They were with Virgin at the forge, and I think you got a little snippety with them. I can't remember, but
I can never really keep track.
I figured as much, but
So they were tracking us?
it sounds like it. Sounds like you got some old friends that want to pay you a visit every once in a while.
How many more old friends?
I don't know how many people are mad at me because of what your uncle made me do.
I'm just gonna let you know right now. There's no way you could have prevented this from happening in our travels. Whatever happened in the past, you could have never predicted that it would have come back like this. But you did the right thing, and you tried. You made sure they can't do this to anybody else. So.
Right. I'm definitely going to internalize that and not a more self-critical message.
All right.
Perrin is still holding the head of Silica, by the way.
14.
Cool. You find it. There is not. You find it's not a terrible construction, but it's not great either. Just kind of an ordinary longbow on this. But in addition to that, you find a quiver of arrows. I'm going to say there are, let's roll real quick, 3 regular arrows in it. And then you also find one arrow that essentially it has this almost like it's like a glass, like an elongated pyramid for the tip of the arrow, but it's glass. And you can see that like the tip of the shaft is also at a point, so it would still function like a regular arrow, like sticking into, but in it are different compartments in the glass head, and it's basically a combustible arrow alchemist fire. So if you were to fire this one arrow out of a bow, in addition to doing the regular damage that the bow do, it'd do another 1d6 fire damage.
Nyx is going to collect these, and while coming back into the house, they're going to keep the longbow, but pass the quiver off to Vox and Spoils of War.
Cool.
It's a good shot.
Yeah, real great bow. I don't know. Something just, it felt right. It felt right.
Perrin is
It
gonna look
sunk
through the
right.
cupboards to see if he can find something.
Give me an investigation check.
I rolled a 7, so I don't know if. Yeah, I rolled a 7.
On a 7, you don't see anything inside it, but I think at this point, Russell has put the children to bed. The twins are kind of still up, but by candlelight in their room, just reading. Russ is gonna walk up to you, Perrin, and put a hand on your shoulder and hold up a bottle.
Well, I don't know about you, but after a day like that, I could use a drink.
Right. That is. Right. Yes.
Yeah. Russ is gonna sit
Nyx
down at
is-
the table. Yeah, anyone else who's there can join in.
While seeing Perrin hesitate, like over drinking, Nyx is going to slip their hand in and like take it instead. And kind of to Perrin, do you want some tea or milk or something?
No, this is good. This is what I want.
Are the children okay? Sorry they had to see that.
It's all right. I suppose, other than the fire, I mean, at the end of the day,
He's kind of gonna look down at the head of the automaton next to you, Perrin.
well, there's a lot they've seen today that they haven't seen before. But I still, even with all this, I owe you a debt. I don't know.
No, that's not how that goes. No, we almost just brought utter devastation. The debt is the thing that we owe, that I owe, because I owe that, because this is the mess that I made. I made this mess, and I caused this to happen because I'm reckless and because I don't take care of things, and and he's gonna reach out and take that bottle.
Russell's going to, yeah, but I mean, Russell has also like poured himself, a glass. Some kind of intel there, like some kind of fortified wine, probably made from, the fruit that came from their garden. He's going to take a sip, but he reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder, Perrin, and is trying to square up with your eyes.
Listen, friend. I don't know your history, where you come from, and I'm sure you've been a lot more places than me. But what I know is what happens, I can't count on the weather and crops to wonder about what they might do or what could have happened or if the rain's going to come or if it ain't going to come. What matters is what happens. And today, my family met some pretty incredible new friends. Got to make them a dinner with food we grew out of love and our own labor. Well, my little girl's all right, thanks to you and yours, and we're all safe. So if you don't mind me contradicting you, I'd say you done more than a good thing here today. You done a beautiful thing, and I'm mighty thankful for it.
Perrin nods and kind of finds a quiet corner to sit in and think, and then watching everybody else, he's gonna be like, we should is it alright if we camp out here for the night?
Oh,
We should
please,
set up.
please.
I'll take first watch.
I'll get the boy. You know,
I'm
we'll
gonna do
get you
some
some
thinking
bedrolls
anyway.
and yeah.
Oh no, that's fine. We've got a word travel. We can set up right. Setting up on your front patio is gonna keep us out of the wind and the rain. That's more than enough.
However you're comfortable, you do what you want. I'll be heading off to bed now too. I'll see you in the morning though. Before you go, I'm sure.
First light, we'll be getting out of here so we can beat the wind on our way to the city.
All right then.
And this is gonna nod at the party and head off to bed. Is there anything that anyone is doing before you take your long rest?
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to my giant friend real quick. I have to say, you are one of the toughest son of a bitches I've ever put my hands on.
Oh, well, I mean,
He's gonna like feel his arm. He's like, what do you bench? What's
they're about 3 or 4.
Burga? Yeah.
3 or 4.
yeah,
Horses. You get horses. You get them.
Yeah. What's next for you? I'm not going to hire you on for that long. I just wanted to kind of prove a point that you don't always got to take money to do bad people stuff.
Well, y'all got to take money. Know the way to make money. You know. Just help people hire me, do things around, and
Well, how about this? Will you, if you want, you can come to Amagos with us, and then do your thing there. And then if you feel like doing making some money for some good stuff, come see me at Phoenix Manor down south.
Hold on, let me make a check real quick. That's a natural 18 on the die. You say Phoenix Manor, and Alice's eyes widen.
I didn't breathe. You, what Phoenix?
Guilty as charged.
Why, goddamn, I never did do. Yeah, I'll head on tomorrow with you.
Yeah, he'll definitely go to Imago with you.
Yeah, you got a story now too. You almost got the best of a Phoenix for a moment, but I got you.
My daddy there in the grad, we were running around, and I knew that was it, man, my brother.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, get some rest.
Yeah, we'll do. We need help on the watching bird.
Perrin, do we want? I don't know where Perrin is.
No, I'm setting up the watches. I got it.
Okay, well, just sleep because I got you pretty good. I'm making a point
I
of
don't-
test.
I'll get some sleep. I'll get some sleep. Yep, see you in the morning.
I don't mean to disparage your new friend, but like usually you don't have someone who is trying to kill you an hour before do any of the watches. So like just generally speaking.
I understand. That makes sense to me.
Like
you always
it's nothing
gotta-
personal.
You always got to
No,
give
no.
someone a chance. Sometimes
Well,
that's all
right.
someone needs.
You can just wait longer than 1 hour is all I'm saying. Like a little longer.
I think he'd get a lot of shit if he did anything to now that he knows who I am. Just saying.
It's very
All right.
true. Boy,
Alice just kind of murmurs to himself as he walks off to find a little spot in the garden or rather a large spot in the garden to lay down and get some shut-eye.
Perrin, do you have a moment?
I mean, yeah, we just want to make sure we get some rest tonight. We got ways
Yeah,
to go tomorrow.
I won't talk too long, I promise. Just what you said earlier, I mean, Balak forced both of us to do a lot of things that I know we regret. And I can only imagine how many skeletons there are hiding away in the closets, and that's probably going to haunt us for a while down the road. But
Right.
I hope you realize you did good today. You stopped one.
Right.
Silica, if he hadn't have been ended here, probably would have gone to torture some other family down the road, burn some other house down. Everyone's okay. The house is still standing. They still have their family, and you faced them with Fauna, and Fauna had your back the whole time. She
Right.
did really good too.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
She's a smart one,
Yeah.
just like our dad.
Right. Right. Aaron's kind of in thought, but he's hearing this. He's accepting it.
Mason's just gonna lay a hand on your shoulder and just kind of give you a light squeeze and a nod and get some rest. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Right. Right.
And go off to go sleep.
Fauna, just before she goes to bed, is just finishing tidying up so that everything is ship shape for the next day, but she's like sweeping the automaton parts just like out the door
Yeah.
so that there's not just like robot pieces on the ground.
Yeah,
when the kids
for
wake up
sure.
in
I
the
love the
morning.
idea that Fauna is daintily with a broom causing
Yeah.
this horrible screeching.
Yeah, she found a broom. She's sweeping it out
This is
the door.
not the right tool, but she's making it work.
Fun as you do this. Give me an Arcana check.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Oh no. Not one.
Oh. Okay. Well, you finish what you wanted to do, and then
Okay.
as you're cleaning up, yeah.
Well, what Fauna was gonna do, like kind of as she was sweeping these parts out the door, was just because I think she had seen, and you could correct me if this is not accurate, but I think she had seen the part where, or the moment when Nyx fired the firebolt and Silica like absorbed it, because I'm pretty sure the door was like open at that point, and she was like
Bert
right
had
outside.
had Bert.
No, I think Ellis had like fallen backwards, like
Yeah,
within the
I'll
doorway.
say that you
The
could
door
see that. I mean,
was
there
open
were
either
windows
way,
in there
and Fauna
too.
was
Yeah,
right
for
there.
sure.
I mean,
for
if
sure.
not, that I don't.
No, I think there were windows
uh,
right there too. I think this made a blaze, like a line of fire inside the cabin. So
Yeah, so I think like as she's like sweeping these parts out and tidying up, she's just kind of curious about like how that worked. Like, was it magic? Was it some kind of mechanical thing? So she's just sort of like, kind of looking at the pieces as she's sweeping them out to see if there's anything she can glean from that as to like how that was done or anything else about his bits.
okay, I will say I'm still gonna for the thing that I'm doing. I'm gonna hold your
That's a
the
different
nat
thing.
one over here. So go ahead and make
Okay,
another
yeah.
Arcana check to do this
Okay.
specific thing.
Ugh. Well, 8.
On an 8, this is not the type of magic that you're familiar. I think on an 8 you would know this is something much more in the realm of an artificer, someone who like Silica was most likely built by someone, didn't come into, so Silica was constructed by someone. I think too, because of the, it's obviously wasn't a recent thing. Silica has been around for a while. Probably to the point to where Silica was capable of even making some modifications to themselves. So might not even be aware of the artificer that created them in the first place. But this is definitely a type of magic that is very foreign to you.
Sounds good.
On that nat 1 for the other Arcana check, you are, the work that you're doing right now, the tidying up, this is one of the rituals, like the things that a witch does. I mean, is keeping a clean space, making sure that it feels good, that it feels right, that everything is in its place, that it's part of the like simple magic of a witch, isn't this? And what would normally, like as you're doing this, bring a sense of peace and calm to a household, you feel something inside of you in that space where you would usually send out warmth and grace and safety, the things that you would usually exude when you're creating or tidying up a space like this. You feel something dark tugging deep down at you. It feels almost like roots extending and growing, and you feel a pull. And instead of the usual feeling, you feel a deep sense of loss and disconnection. And the horns on the top of your head grow a little bit more.
Yay.
I think I'm like, what? But I think she's like not really sure what's happening. So she's just gonna like hope nobody notices and just keep it to herself for now, because it's kind of like a little scary, but also she's just so unsure about what this is. So she's just gonna be like, and then just go about her business.
Okay.
Finish tidying and probably
Yeah.
make some tea for everybody that's still up.
Okay. As this is wrapping up for everyone, I think the last thing that happens before the long rest, before
I have
Amos-
one thing that happens
Yeah.
before the
Yes.
long rest.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You do your thing, and then I'll do my thing.
Okay, cool. Before Amos comes to come to kind of tuck in with you, Perrin, for whatever night's watch you're about to undergo, Amos is going to flit close and just land on your shoulder, Nyx. He took that pretty hard.
I know. I think he might need some time. We'll just have to keep an eye on him. This isn't going to be something that he gets over easy.
I understand.
I think it's just starting to hit that this might happen a lot.
He's gonna need us.
Oh, his little one. And Nyx is going to like scratch Amos right by the little bird ear holes, which is the best place.
Okay. And Amos flits away to Perrin.
Yeah, Perrin kind of does his last round. He makes sure everybody's like set. He checks the sight lines. He does all the normal things he does. And as everyone kind of drifts into sleep, he takes Silica's autonomon head, and as everybody else drifts off, he goes and takes that bottle of fortified wine, and he climbs up to the roof, and he sits at the peak of the roof and sets the head in front of him and just kind of considers it for a little while. He doesn't know the magic very well, but I think over the years they were partners for years in this business, and I think he knows a little bit. He knows a little bit about this, so I'm gonna insert one of his sacred incense into the head cavity, and he's gonna light it on fire, and he's gonna try to see if he can bring Silica back for a minute.
Make me an Arcana check.
13?
On a 13, you put the incense in there, light it up, and you see a little bit of a familiar glow in those eyes just kind of flicker for a moment. Softly, you hear the voice. It's not as gravelly, this like is grating. It's almost more wet, quiet.
Looks like you got me again, friend.
It's not what I wanted. Because you were my friend.
It's not what I wanted either. I would have seen you burn down in that house. Pour me a drink, would you?
It's old times. The times that have already died. Heron pours a little tiny amount and lashes it into the mouth hole. It's not very graceful. We could have both walked away from this, and we could have both been better. I want to be better. I don't want to be who I was.
Then do something for me, old friend.
What's that?
Leave here and be better. Can I tell you a secret?
Tell it to me.
I'm glad you made it.
And the light is going to go out.
I think Perrin, for a long time, is just running over in his head the very well meant. This is gonna haunt us for a while. That Fauna's doing well. Even Silica just then telling him to leave there and be better. But unfortunately, Perrin is completely unable to emotionally process these things, and the daunting task of this being an ongoing thing is really too much. So I think as far as it goes, as camera fades to black, so to speak, you just see him like white knuckling this bottle, sitting on this rooftop, and unsure of what to do. And he definitely doesn't wake up anybody else for watch.
For watch, yeah. Does that mean, are you going to take the full watch yourself?
Yeah, but
Okay.
nobody knows if he is awake or not for all of this, or sober or not for all of this, but he does not wake up anyone else to take watch.
Okay. Make me a
Have
constitution.
privately rolled.
Yeah, make me a constitution check real quick.
Constitution is 11.
Okay. You're not going to take exhaustion, and you are able to stay up through the night. Everyone else, you get your long rest. Perrin, you don't have exhaustion, but you won't get the benefits of a long rest. You keep the what watch you can in the state that you are in. And beneath you in sleep, Fauna rolls over in sleep. Those horns get a little longer. And somewhere far away, deep in the Evewood, much further than you can hear it, Perrin, this animal cry echoes out. And you wake up the next morning.
Oh man.
I think I had a rock under my head.
Do I notice are Fauna's horns noticeably bigger?
Make a perception check.
How much of a growth are we talking about?
I
here?
mean, you can all make a perception check for sure.
Perrin doesn't.
I would say it's
Atticus
pretty,
doesn't know.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
No.
It's a very slight amount.
I mean, I got a dirty 20, but I feel like I should do that at disadvantage just because I don't have much to compare it to.
For sure. Yeah.
This is 17. It's
Yeah, I don't think
gross. I just don't know what it means.
Unless anyone
It's
got
gross.
higher than a 20, no one's gonna see any noticeable difference. It was a very slight. Funny, you do feel it. It's not overwhelming, the feeling, but it is almost like an itch that's hard to scratch.
Atticus is gonna go slap the hill giant like on the chest to wake him up.
Oh, there goes your
And he's gonna wake up. It's the first day of the rest of your life.
Well, it's first day of my life from light on Phoenix, that's for sure.
Exactly.
First day of the rest of the
Yes.
campaign of Elijah talking in that voice.
Boy, I sure am a class homeboy.
All right, Atticus, where to now?
Uh,
Is Perrin up on the roof? Is Perrin here? Is he up on the roof still?
I think I saw him up
Where's
on the
Perrin?
roof earlier when I was you see Bert is kind of walking around, has been helping Russell, but is walking around with like a big old plate full of flapjacks and just handing them out to whoever wants them.
Oh, bless you, Bert.
yes, please.
I think
Thank-
Perrin has spent at least part of the
The
night
night
affixing. Oh, this,
this
is
is
sweet.
sweet.
I think this is good.
good.
He's affixing Silica's head to the chimney so that hot air will occasionally flow in
Oh,
and give him just like the dream of still existing.
give me. I'm gonna let you do this without, because you don't have proficiency in like
no,
Tinker's tools,
no.
right?
You need to roll it, and you can't tell me what the result is.
Great.
I'll take off my headphones.
Okay. I mean, I could tell everyone else, or I can just roll it and then keep it secret to myself.
Keep
You
it
took off
secret,
headphones.
Keep it safe.
Tell us.
I only rolled a 10, so I'm going to tell him what he adds to this.
Tyler, you're good to go.
So just tell me, what would you add to, like, what's your intelligence modifier?
Just one.
Okay. Yeah, you fix it. I mean, chimney's going right, because the fire's going right
Oh
now.
wait, no,
You-
I'm sorry. I have Jack of all trades. I keep forgetting that I have that. So you.
so you get half your proficiency
+2.
bonus, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just +2. I just get an extra 1 on it.
Okay. Give me a perception
Rounds down.
check.
21. I guess that defeats the purpose of taking off my headphones if I'm gonna.
You don't. You affix it up there. You know, fire and like smoke, like that's going through. It's coming out the chimney right now. Heat is just because of the flapjacks that are cooking. As Bert is handing them out to anyone, you don't see a glow in the eyes at all. But you firmly. It's definitely not going to come off this chimney. It is firmly fixed here.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing up there?
He jumps down. I'm not up there. And don't call me Shirley.
Well, surely you're not. You want some pancakes?
Yeah, of course.
Is he noticeably like hungover or smell of booze, or how bad is the
I mean, Perrin, you tell me. You tell
He
us.
just jumped off a roof and asked for pancakes.
Yeah, that seems to have some.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Little spry in his step.
Does Atticus see the like head affixed to the roof?
For sure. I think it's pretty prominent. It's on the chimney, so.
He's gonna look at
That should-
Aaron.
scare
What-
off some unwelcome
Why-
intruders?
Why would you do that to this family's home?
I mean,
Why would you desecrate it like this?
desecrate, that's a strong word.
You're putting a corpse head on someone's home.
Right. I guess I didn't think of it being that. I can take it down, Russ?
I think that's a good idea.
Russ is gonna look up at it.
I mean, it's a sure flag of don't mess with this family out in the desert.
And then is going to look over at Grace, who is currently like outside eating a pancake and just happily kind of like sitting out in the garden, just painting on a piece of that, like some little paints on his painting on the paper. Russ is gonna look out. Russ looks over to you, Perrin, back to the head. Hey, little lady, you wanna head on up there and maybe give that thing a little bit more panache? Grace is gonna look up at it and then kind of excitedly run around to the back of the house where there is a ladder that leads up to the roof.
Psychopath lets his
Grace is
8-year-old daughter climb
Climb
onto the
on
roof.
Does she
Grace
have
is-
another hat?
Grace is gonna
Lame.
get up there, and you see Grace actively just starts to paint like all kinds of colors, and like, is painting like little flower, and also, I think like a little better than stick. She's 8, but it's also paint, so like slightly better than stick figure renditions of, If anyone's looking funny, you can see little horns up there. You can see a cat. You see a little toad with a cowboy hat.
I feel like those are the only two that she would remember. Everybody else is irrelevant to this little girl.
Well, people
The
sure are
good one.
different. People sure are different out in the desert. I guess I'll just eat my words.
No,
All
I mean,
right.
you have a point. I will ask next time before I announce a head on anyone's living space.
That's all I ask, really.
That's
I
my.
mean,
It's my.
yeah.
Russ, thank you for your hospitality.
Russ, my man, I'll get you those seeds. I'll send some seeds for you.
Well, I mean, if you remember it, I just
Atticus gonna put an arm on his shoulder and be like, "How can I forget you and your beautiful family?" Give him a pat.
Yeah. Russell's going
Fauna-
to nod.
Just like as they're leaving, Fauna's going to hand him a healing potion and just say, just in case anything else happens, this will take care of him.
thank you. Hold on, one minute.
And see Russell goes running back inside. He's
Do I
going
get a
to
hat too?
Come back out.
Wait, I thought you
and-
were wearing a hat.
Yeah, I don't know if I could wear a hat. It'd have to
Wait,
be like
no,
a little.
that's not a hat.
Oh no, this is part of my head. Atticus, you didn't know? Do you want to touch it?
No. Atticus is kind of like boy, like this is cool, but like kind of weird.
All right, that's enough.
Russ
I thought it was a style
comes
choice.
running back out, Fauna, and takes your hands and places in your hands. It was just my wife, Virginia, was an excellent painter. I know it's not much, but I thought, well, we got plenty of portraits that she painted of the boys and of Grace. I thought maybe it was special to her, and she's not here to thank you. So, and he just passes you. You see, it's just a little locket. Very simple. It's not even like brass or any precious material. It's just kind of like a simple little brooch with a locket on it.
Does it have something inside?
You open up and you see there's just a very, very tiny, but still with immaculate detail, just a little, like, portrait of Grace painted.
I love it. Thank you. I'll treasure it. And then she's going to put it on.
Cool.
All right, gang. I guess we should get on moving. Russ, thank you. And he's gonna point like, if Magos is that way.
That way, yeah. You're correct.
Still got it, gang. I still got it. And Atticus is gonna start walking with the giant, and be like, so tell me how you do things in your neck of the woods, and just kind of like trail
Boy, I
off.
tell you what, when we get ourselves a couple chickens, we tie them chickens together and we rob and
And he's just absolutely starts going off. It's incredibly talkative.
I want to know everything.
The group
I
will
wanna know
find
about
out
his
on the
culture.
way.
Yeah. I'm asking a million questions.
It's great. Actually, you know what? Just give me general. Let's not charisma. We'll call it a persuasion check, and maybe I'll give you a dump of lore information that I DM you that you get out of him by making this a good conversation.
Yeah. That's 17.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll send you. a message with some stuff on it.
17
Stuff.
Ellis facts.
17 Ellis facts. Okay. You are
One,
back.
Ellis is named
You are-
after his mother.
You are back out
And
on
his father.
the road again. Yeah, both named Ellis.
It's very confusing for everybody.
Very confusing. Also grandma, grandpa, aunts, all named Ellis. He goes on about this for a while. He keeps going down.
where's great grandma named Ellis, and Ellis, and then another Ellis on my
Big
side.
fans of Green Anatomy, that family.
Okay. You all are back on the road for Imago. We'll finish up the rolls to get you to Imago so we can start next session in Imago. So let's finish up the wild rolls and see what happens. Perrin, someone's helping you out every day. So I think I'm going to pull up the map too, just to double check and make sure, but I think you're right on the 2-day thing. So Perrin, it'll be 2 survival checks at advantage.
Can I give myself disadvantage because Perrin is sloppy and undo the disadvantage? I'm sorry, undo the
and-
advantage.
yeah,
and
roll 'em
just make
flat.
it flat twice.
Yep.
And people, I guess, can roll perception at
Tell me
disadvantage.
what
to
I
see
want to
if
know
they
though is
notice.
who's helping you on these days.
I think I would the previous day, so probably not me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Perrin might do it without help. He might like kind of drift off, and he might tell everyone. I think this is a like a lie to mom about having asked dad. I think he tells everybody that somebody else is helping that day,
Okay,
and he does not
cool.
get help.
Yeah. Nyx is gonna give Perrin space, but is going to like keep an eye on him probably for the next while.
Okay, so here's what I
They're
am
a little
going to
worried.
say. Perrin, you're going to roll the survival checks, both of them with disadvantage. So not even a flat roll. You'll roll them with disadvantage. Nyx, you're going to clock that Perrin is doing a bad job.
Okay.
First one's 15, second one is 5.
Okay. Um,
Like everybody sleeps poorly on one night.
yeah,
You're in a
I think
bad
it's
valley.
first one not, but the second night is bad. Instead of doing 2 luck checks, we're just going to do two flat luck checks, one for each day. I think the last person to do one was Atticus. So that puts us Fauna for the first, when the survival check was 14, and then Nyx for the second when it was 5. It's just a flat luck check from each of you.
And that's just D20 with nothing added.
Yep.
I got a 2.
Oof.
15.
Okay. First day, no events. You make it pretty far through the scrubland out here on your way to Imago. And I think there's a moment on that first day. You know, spirits are high. Bert gets along really well with Ellis. Despite the fact that, Perrin, you feel the weight of guilt. I mean, I'm not going to tell the rest of you how you feel, but you do leave having not only saved a young girl from a horrible, like the horrible fate of dying from an infection and a broken arm, but no harm. Like, they're significantly better off for having met all of you. I think that first day in the wagon, Bert's going to kind of come up next to you, Atticus. Atticus, can I ask you something?
You can ask me anything, Bert.
Well, I just, I ain't been a whole person for too long, you know. And I gotta wonder, there's just, when you talk about home, and you know, I've been hearing a lot about it too from our new friend Ellis over there. When you talk about it, there's something that calls to me in it, and it, you know, I don't remember what life was like before when I was just a regular toad, and you know, I don't think I always used to talk, and I rightly can't remember the beginning of my life, like I said, but there's something about your home that, well, it feels like home to me too. And I sure am excited to see it, Atticus.
That was beautiful. What's your question?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a question. How much do you think that feller back there is going to eat? And you just see Ellis is just actively like going through the foraged food for the day, and just not greedily, just kind of like simply like you would munch on trail mix maybe while walking, but it is full, like, you know, full meals for all of you, as he just sort of like,
What is good eating?
Hey, you're part of a party, bud. You can't be eating all the food like that. I know it just seems like tiny portions, but that's normal portions for most of us.
Won't happen again.
We
Okay.
lost June.
Lost
oh
Nick.
June.
no, we did.
And thus the overlay is fuck.
The overlay is absolutely. Hold on.
Correct.
We'll wait. We'll wait a second to see if they pop back. It is also possible. I wonder if their device just popped out. Here's what I'll do. So we're close to wrapping up, except for this to finish out this last day where there were the bad checks. So I will
Really
fix-
awful, terrible day.
really awful.
Laptop died.
Everyone's bad, really awful, terrible day.
Jane said their
Tell-
laptop died.
Cool. Tell them not to worry about it. I will fix the overlay real quick. Like so. Hold on.
I'm seeing two of you,
Wait, that's not gonna
two
fix
of
it.
Tyler's, two of Q's.
Does everyone know where did? Don't I have the Zoom link posted in the? Do I have it in the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Discord.
That's
in the
where it is.
Discord.
Cool. I thought so.
Technical difficulty. Stand by.
Do, 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 do.
Boop. There it goes, and then we will fix that. And
iPhone 160.
It's too many iPhones.
Yeah, why do you have
Two-
so many iPhones?
160 iPhones. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, Vox is actually playing Perrin.
It's
Okay.
time.
It's time.
Um.
Atticus is gonna be like, Bert, that is beautiful. I want to know the feelings that you have. Tell me about it. When we can rest a little bit. I want to know what. I want to dig into that a little deeper.
Yeah. Bert's gonna nod at you. Day continues without incident. You set up camp. The next day, there is a pretty severe windstorm that comes in this scrubland. Visibility low. It makes it impossible to forage any more food. You've got enough food to get you by, so no one's like actively now. Whoop, there we go. Now I don't have to. No one like needs to worry about eating for the day. And there we go. Fixed. Everything's back. No one needs to worry about eating for the day. Makes it rough going. I think there's a chance that you might have made it to Imago before your rest that night, but you pull up just shy as night starts to set in. You're barely able to set up a camp. Far in the distance, you can see a few lights from Imago. Again, it's not a huge city, but it's a sizable little town. Unless you actively advise him against it, Bert and Ellis are going to go about gathering firewood to make a little fire for kind of your last night before you hit Imago.
I think Perrin knows in a situation like this to be cautious. And I think Perrin says
nothing.
Okay.
Are we really gonna? I mean, do we need a fire? Like, I don't know. I just
well,
like. I feel
seems
like we're
fine.
so close, and like,
I mean,
I don't really. I don't like fire. I just don't like fire.
Oh,
I'm gonna get that out of the way now. I just don't.
all right.
I'm
No,
not a
no.
fan.
no fire then. That's all right. No fire. Well, hey Ellis, you go on, set those down. We're not gonna light a fire. You see Ellis just kind of dumps it and sits down. Just kind of lays back under the stars. Well, I mean, last night before we get to Imago, anyone wanna play a tune, bolster our spirits a bit? I know it was a rough day out in the wind and all.
Atticus's mustache he's just combing it back in. Like, it's kind of grown back in, but it's like enough to like, he's just like pushing it down and like pushing his face. Like, yeah, not the best day. We don't really have a song per se, but does anyone got a story they want to share? Maybe something
Stories.
about them, a victory they had. I'm more than happy to talk about some stuff. But anyone got some fun things?
Atticus, why don't you tell us the story about where we're actually going? Because I've just been sort of blindly following you, and this is about the furthest I've traveled from home now.
Wow, that's actually so exciting. And yes, I would love to tell you. Um, by the way, I just want to say thank you to everybody here. I know that things got really heated very quickly, and I don't know what to expect, but I appreciate all of you just dropping and doing this thing. Yeah, Phoenix Manor. I mean, it's been a little while since I've been back home. It's in some nice marshland. The Southland is a very green, luscious, humid, a lot warmer than the Salt Valley. A lot of dangerous stuff lives there, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's wetlands. It's the oldest area on the continent, almost, if I recall. Beautiful architecture, buildings. There's amazing art. There's shows you can go see. They have this one drink that kind of looks like an explosive thing, and you drink it, and it's like frozen. It's pretty good. What else? What do you want to know? Ask me what you want to know about the Southland.
When was the last time you were there?
Uh, Shoot.
I think you know it. God, on timeline, I think like at least 25. I think 25 years was the attack at like the sacking of Saint Florian, which was the last time you were there.
Yeah. Gosh, like it's been probably like almost 30 years, somewhere right before that. I There was an attack on Saint Florian, which is a main city, and there's a siege, and actually that's before I met all of you. That was the last interaction I had with I mean, the Mirror Knight.
But yeah, I mean St. Florian's a smelly swamp, but tell us more about that nightlife, you know? It's like it's party town down there, right? That's what I've heard.
Oh, like I said, I've been there 1 2 times myself. I tell you what, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd use dirty swamp as a way to
Yeah, I
describe
know.
it,
Of course
Perrin.
not. Of course you wouldn't, but like, you know, let's call it what it is.
When we were in Asparia, you were using your title a lot, like it meant something. Are you is your family some kind of, I don't know,
Um,
nobles, or do you have some strong bloodline in St. Florian?
my Yeah, I mean, my family created it. Um, we're one of the oldest houses, I mean, to exist on the continent. We are one of the first noble families to exist. Rulers, yeah, all that. Yeah, we're about as old as it gets.
Look, as long as none of our faces are on any wanted posters this time, think that sounds fine to me.
I can drink to that.
Yeah, are we gonna be like staying in the palace?
Yeah, my house is still there. Um, there's still staff that works there. It's I think
Not
more
sand stuff.
I think more or less now they what was that? I'm sorry.
I said not sand staff.
No, humans. Yeah. I think it kind of operates more as there's certain parts of it that operate more as like a museum, like a place you can go learn about some history. That's kind of how it stayed afloat after, my house kind of well, there's me and one other Phoenix, I guess, now, but we used to be a pretty big family.
Tell me, who's taking watch with? How's Perrin divided the watch?
Nyx will volunteer for a first watch or a watch.
Cool.
I think they're just happy to be in moonlight again. And I think Bert wanting a song and not even really to perform, but they're not going to like mute themselves either. Nix is going to kind of softly sing one of the songs that they used to perform at in the Court of Night, and kind of like dragging their fingers across the sand in rhythm to almost like emulate the waves. And we'll just do first watch for a bit.
Great.
Yeah, Atticus will nominate himself for second watch or third watch, whoever wants to
Cool.
go.
Yeah, I think Bert volunteers to take the second watch with you, Atticus. Makes you almost leave this little nocturne or this lullaby for everyone. And I think this sound lingers for everyone, whether they're in their sleep or on watch. Atticus, when you take your watch, if you are the only other one other than Bert awake during your watch, you would hear Bert, it's quiet for watch. That's how it's supposed to be. Spends some time sitting close to you, and then at a certain point walks away a little bit. And you hear him, if you're listening, just kind of softly singing to himself. Well, country road, take this toad to the place where he belongs. So Lassa, Mountain Papa, take us home, country road. And the next session, you will all be headed into Amago. But that is where. Yeah, I think anyone who heard it in their sleep or not, everyone go ahead and we're gonna call this that busted inspiration. So it is where you can flip to see if you get a critical failure or a critical success. But that is where we're gonna end this kind of like our what are we now 2 sessions into Arc 2?
Yeah,
Which is most certainly titled "Take Me Home, Country Toad."
it's the road trip season.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back next week with more Castle Run.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye now.